Hello, Kirinyaga. Welcome to Chibonge Kirinyaga. This is Martin. Welcome to our conversation. We're talking about politics and governance, all in general. So, Wakili,
Yes.
what do you think, Mount Kenya, before we come to Kirinyaga, do you think that we need our own party? And if yes, where is the position of other parties? Where is their place in all this?
Allow me to take two positions. In an ideological situation, every region within the Mount Kenya region is supposed to have its own party. For instance, in Kirinyaga County, given that one of the principals within the United Opposition, Her Excellency Martha Wangari Karua, has her own party, PLP, the People's Liberation Party, it goes without saying that in an ideal situation, that should be the party that is eating, quote unquote. Unfortunately, when it comes to Anjiko, and when you study the pattern of the voting habits of the people of Kirinyaga and the people of Mount Kenya and the people of Murima, generally speaking, they tend to vote very euphorically. So it's about a party that is able to capture the wave of the people. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the party that has been able to do that is DCP. So if we are idealistic, we should say that chama ya Kirinyaga ni PLP, but honestly speaking, on the ground, the party that has been very euphoric is DCP.
Joshua, do you agree? Chama ya Kirinyaga ni PLP. Technically, it's from PLP, it's Kirinyaga born.
Well, yes, my name is Joshua, and I will agree with what my brother has said. We had UDA some years back, which was the most popular party. That was in 2022, when the deputy president was impeached. That marked the solemn death of UDA, and it gave birth to a new party, which is the DCP party, which is currently the most desirable, the most popular, and the most attractive party in Mount Kenya. What my sister has said about PLP, yes, I know PLP is a party that is birthed in Kirinyaga by virtue of the fact that the party leader is from Kirinyaga. But you see, just like we experience in childbirth and in labor, there are children that are born but that don't make it past the first.
What do you know about childbirth?
Yeah, so I would liken the PLP party to a stillbirth. It is a child that is born but that does not enjoy the benefit of life. So with that regard, that leaves DCP as the most dominant party and as the party of choice in the Mount Kenya region.
Mary Jo,
Yes.
who knows PLP? What's wrong with PLP?
Why do you want to drag me in the PLP like this? Well, my name is Mary Jo. And now that you want me to start from PLP, let me say that one, Martha Karua is a daughter that we have respected for so long in this region. She also enjoys that respect across the country and across the world. She enjoys a lot of respect in so many places. But everybody has their strength. And Mother is not one person who moves crowds. When it comes to our path, our way of identifying ourselves with our party, in some level of leadership and all that, I think Mother does not enjoy the power of carrying euphoria or maybe moving masses. But she's very good in other areas. So when it comes to party leadership and party formation, PLP, we say everything inadefiniwa na yule kiongozi yuko. PLP does not mean that people cannot follow, but the way of leadership ya Martha does not resonate with the common mwananchi. That does not mean that she's a failure. She is not. It's only that she's in the wrong field. I am very good at these seats, but maybe I am not very good with a mic. and does not make me a failure. So mother and microphone, we do not try. Sorry, it might
So
sound
are you trying to say that if we had someone else, what if mother gave someone else
Like who?
the chance? I think that is subject to discussion who she can delegate the duty of selling the party, because we have quite a few options we can give that. What if she delegated that duty of selling the party to someone else?
We have 26 alphabets. A, B, C, D, R, Z. DCP falls in those alphabets. PLP falls in those alphabets. UDA falls in those alphabets. It's not about the name. It's about the person who is holding the mic. Yes, PLP, before we had NAC Kenya, she was still the same person. She rebranded to PLP. She is still the same person. Maybe if we grant her the DCP, it will not enjoy the same. It is the person. It is not the alphabet. Also, let me come in about the DCP, the UDA. I thought you asked about party politics and their positions within the region. The person who was there in 2022, no, the people who are on crowd back then, still enjoys the larger percentage up to date. They are still the same people. They feel where UDA was. Mwananchi has a character of flowing with who is coming with hope. We all know that the national resources might not fulfill each and every person's desire. But we go to the person, we get to incline with the person who is bringing in points that are making sense. Now we got UDA. If I have ever seen a party that ever promised hope, that almost showed us hope like a real baby, was UDA. But the pain is so real currently, so real, tangible pain, that Mwananchi might really not want you to mention the word UDA or the alphabets UDA. On the other hand, we have DCP that is calling out UDA without fear. The word truthful man started like a slogan. It ended up to become so true that if Brigade today tells me that I am not Mary, I would kind of question myself. I would not go guns blazing saying I am Mary. I would want to know where is he deriving the facts from. And that's where you're fighting. It is starting from the head. Brigade is so truthful. The followers are coming in with so many truths that the Mwananchi eventually resonates with the party that is being led by the people who are speaking a lot of truth. They are fighting, they are calling out the pain and the cause of the pain. They are giving out solutions. They are really trying to deliver. If you look at the people around Rigathi Gachagua, you will realize among them, there are so many who are fighting. We saw during the Gen Z arrest and all that, we saw Jerry Minor going guns blazing, doing all she could to a point of even contributing on TikTok to get money to get out the youths that were arrested. We see Kina Murango fighting for the farmers. We see Kina Nyoto. We see so many people who are out there and they are all around a single person. So what does that one tell Mwananchi?
Martin, before we digress, I would want for us to go back to that point where Mary Jo is implying that the only reason why PLP is not euphoric and PLP is not accepted as official party that is eating within the Kirinyaga region is because Mother Karua, Her Excellency, does not play popularist politics. This one brings me to the conversation of the whole Ruti and the conversation of euphoria and the conversation of Yamakireke. Because in my opinion, honestly speaking, if we look at the values that we want to look for in a leader, and I'm not saying that Mother Karua has these values at the expense of His Excellency Dr. Rigathi Gachagua, because in my opinion, they are both principles within the united opposition. So I'd like to think each of them is equally qualified. For instance, we had a situation in Siagine And it's a situation in public domain because Her Excellency Martha Karua has spoken openly about it, where His Excellency Dr. Rigathi Gachagua came to Kirinyaga in Moya constituency, Siagine, and it so happened that in a situation where Martha Karua is counted as an equal, and in a situation where Martha Karua is counted as a principal within the united opposition, she was supposed to be treated as a host. She was supposed to be the one that is welcoming guests. She was supposed to be the one that is recognizing dignitaries. She was supposed to be a host in every sense of the word. But you saw a point where Dr. Rigathi Gachagua was so popular, or appeared to be so popular. Sorry, I take that back. Was so glorified to a point where it almost appeared as though Her Excellency Martha Karua was subordinate to him. As a matter of fact, Dr. Rigathi Gachagua is the one that is inviting the principals to come and speak, including Her Excellency Martha Karua. As Kirinyaga County, is it that we don't count the daughter of our land as worthy, as somebody who's worthy in, or good enough to give us political direction? Is it that we're not holding her in the same regard that she's being held at within the united opposition? Because if we listen to the agreement that is there within the united opposition, is that they're going to give us one candidate for the presidential position and the deputy president. So in the event that we wake up today and the united opposition decide they're going to give us Her Excellency Martha Karua as the flag bearer for united opposition presidential candidate, sisi kama watu wa Kirinyaga, do we have it in us? Do we have enough love? Do we have enough regard? And do we have enough trust in the leadership of Martha Karua as an equal member of the united opposition?
So I would ask, Joshua, what is the place of Mother in the current political dynamics that we have? And do you think that Kirinyaga, I will put it in quotes, loves Mother enough if she ran as the president or the deputy this time down, in reference to what happened with Azimio? Do you think she would actually be different this time? What is her place?
Well, let me correct something that my sister has said here, and I think it's usually said within the political environment, and I suspect that these words are said to massage people's egos. When people say that they are equal, the principles are equal. People are not equal. Please a lie. People can never be equal.
We have super principles.
Yes, because there are factors that determine or give weight to each entity. And in politics, when she says that PLP or Martha Karua does not play populism politics, she's actually, I'm scared because she's admitting that Karua is actually in the wrong profession, because politics is about populism. Exactly. Populism is about numbers.
So you're saying it's not about
the definition.
It is not about numbers. And two, the question as to whether Kirinyaga loves Karua, Her Excellency Martha Karua or not, the question that I will place by or put back to you is, has she given people reason to love her? That's the question. Because love is not organic. Life is all about the force of attraction. There is that which you radiate, that you give to the people, that the people give back to you. The question is, has Karua, for the years that she has served Kirinyaga, and I'm not saying that she's not performed or she's not delivered, but or whatever she's done in the years, is it enough to warrant or to guarantee her equal love from the masses? And from where I sit, looking at what happened in 2022, I think she still has a lot to do.
Martin, I'm sorry to interject. Very bad behavior. Is she asking what Martha Karua brings to the table?
No.
Is that the question?
The point was raised by what I said. So I think I need to bring in a rejoinder. Now,
what does she bring to the table?
no, it's not about what she brings in the table. It is about, okay, the greatest currency in politics is numbers. Yes, that is the major currency in politics. Because at the end of the day, it is the votes that counts. It is the numbers that you brought on the table. So I can tell you for free, in leadership, we got the legislatures, we got executive. Karua is better in executive rather than registration. When it comes to elections and all that, she is better when there are tables where when mother sits, the Excellency, the people's deputy president has to sit back and listen. There are those tables. And there comes a time that His Excellency, the people's deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, has to talk and mother has to sit back. When it comes to people and numbers, well, that is what Joshua is saying.
Let me conclude this stuff. You know, you all know, politics is local. All politics is local. In terms of, you know, from Kenya, we are still developing in terms of political parties. All political parties are tribal and they are local. That's the first point. Second, number two, the part of popularity, you can't deny that in politics, in the Kenyan politics right now. For instance, why did William Samoei Ruto pick Rigathi Gachagua as a running mate in 2022? Because Gachagua was bright in popularity. Gachagua is popular, on ground.
Mobilization.
Yeah. And then, mambo ya sijui like Kenya sijui hatujafika Singapore. Sasa Kenya Wanjiku anajua saa hii anajua chama inalia venye shaifanyi, venye masomo imeenda chini, venye mkulima pati fertilizer. Ile chama inalia na what Wanjiku is resonating itakuwa at the end of the day. Kenya before tufika sijui Singapore, sijui community mama, the US, we are still far away. Right now we have to accept that all politics is local. And really chama inaresonate na Wanjiku, it will always carry the day.
And finally, finally on the same, and I think this is what I will say to the united opposition. She's rightly put it, that each has their own strengths. If you look at our competitors who are the UDA, basically, which is the government with all its resources, you look at their events and you see huge resource mobilization, which we do not have as opposition. The only asset that we have when it comes to mobilization is Rigiji. If you call for a meeting,
Exactly.
if you call for a meeting, if UDA held their meetings or their empowerment programs this week, and you felt like they've shaken the ground, and we need to counter that, trust me, if we called Her Excellency Karua and sent her to convene meetings to counter that, we won't really beat it. Now, our only resource is Rigiji.
Exactly.
So he's just not a principal. He's just not our party leader. He's just not a greater man among the equals within the united opposition fraternity. He's also the key resource in that. That is something that we cannot ignore. And beyond the borders of Kirinyaga, people must know that Rigathi is the most critical force in dislodging the government. Exactly. That one must not be lost.
Do you agree that Rigathi is that weapon fashioned against the government?
I agree, because I feel like Rigathi had his own special role. First of all, his first role was bearing the government in a time where everybody was so muzzled that you are very afraid of addressing the issues that were actually atrocities against the people. So Rigiji had the balls, forgive my French, to face the government heads on. The second role that he had was a goal of mobilization, which has always remained to be his strength. He has a strength of bringing people together. But in the same strength, my opinion is it takes a very it's united opposition. Rigathi Gachagua just happens to be the weak link, in that if you move him, then the whole cake might crumble. It's almost as if it's a house of cards. So it becomes the key card.
With Rigathi at the center.
Yes, with Rigathi at the center. But also, every person has their own weight and their own value that they're bringing to the table. And that is why I was asking Joshua when he was addressing the whole issue. Are you guys questioning what value that Her Excellency Martha Wangari Karua brings to the table? Or rather, is supposed to bring to the table? Because if you ask me, in the united opposition, there's no representation of a woman. We start with the gender card. It should work all the time. And also, when it comes to experience and integrity, don't ask me who else I feel like is of questionable integrity, because I can go on and on and on and on. Her qualifications as a person. And Mary just said she probably is best placed in the executive arm of the government, but I feel like she's one person that has occupied all the arms of the government. She's been in legislature when she was the MP for Bishogo. She's been in the judiciary, that one you all know, and she's been in the executive when she was the Minister for Justice. So we have somebody.
Very bad.
But
The unfortunate thing is what you guys said, popularist politics. She's the best thing for this nation. Lakini hii taifa yetu haitakangi kile kitu ambacho
Can I give you a right of reply before
Yes.
we come to you?
Please. We are not saying, I want it to be taken very clearly. We are not saying that mother is not bringing something on the table.
Yeah.
In fact, mother is always known to be in the right camp. If you do not know where to go, just check where mother is. That is one of her strengths. She has a character of always being able to calculate and see what is right under the table.
Yeah.
And she's able to place her bet on the right side of Wajiko. However, when it comes to popular, how should I say? When it comes to numbers,
Yeah.
she does not have the mobilization.
Mobilization.
She does not. And also, there is something we call time. I told you, in politics, timing is better than time. Mother had her time. In 2001, Mother was our Rigathi. When she changed the name, the Iron Lady.
Yes.
That was our Rigathi back then. She cannot always hold the same position. Mundu kuyoga right, deru magainera igere. Kwede wayo weko haisa. No de getore haisara. So it came a time that mother who could carry the masses also had to retire from the same position. I remember there's a time in Kerugoya Stadium, the then president Mutukufu Rais Daniel Arap Moi,
Oh, yes.
because if you never began with them, Mutukufu Rais ilikuwa crime.
Yeah.
Had a harambe for the high schools around, and I happened to be in the meeting in one of the in the mass choir from one of the schools. Mother, I don't know whether I'll demonstrate this. Feel free. That girl, because by then was a girl,
Yeah. She walked out.
she asked how much the president had brought in. She made sure she has written a check yenye ilikuwa na pesa mingi kuliko ya president. Then when the president stood for podium, she stood, straightened her clothes, hung her bag, walked not behind the tent,
Bele.
right in front of that red carpet, and the driver akamgoja pale mwisho. That was our Rigathi back then.
Katwenda gatia.
Now,
Katwenda
what we
gatia.
are saying is that mother served us then. Dagitura haisara. Tio degweri ayo kuhaisa forever. That is exactly what I
Wacha
mean.
niseme historia ya mother, ndio tuanze historia ya mother. Unajua kitu tunafaa tujue hapa, nani anapatiana power? Ni the Wanjiko, si ndio?
Yes.
The Wanjiko will give you the power. Mother was so powerful. 1992 to 2013. That was the Iron Lady mpaka 2013. 2013 devolution came. Akaambia na Wanjiko, the same Wanjiko mwenye aligave her power almost 20 years. Akaambia wewe, since devolution is very new, uje tukupe governor. What was her response? Governor negatekani. Hiyo ndio ilimaliza mother technically in Kirinyaga politics. Because watu wenye walikuwa nakupea kiti, unaona, ni wajui. Na watu wao ndio wamekuja kukupea that power.
Ndio tufunga hiyo in 1 minute. Tufunga in 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. And I think this is not even to Martha. I think this is to all our leaders. And one thing that I know that has accelerated the demise of mother's career is the fact that most of our leaders do not nurture new leaders. Mother has been in power since 1992 to 2013. And other than, I think, when she came and fronted Ashoki Gitari, of which I hear it was just an alliance of convenience, she did not nurture anyone. And this will actually be the reality of most of the leaders that we are having today. It's unfortunate that the only leader that I've seen who is trying to prop up leaders, who is taking it upon himself to nurture leadership, identify talents, and support them, is actually our current Senator Murango. We saw what he did with Gasheri in 2022. Gasheri was basically a nobody. From nowhere, nobody knew Gasheri. She was even too tiny to be seen. Murango held...
Literally. That's why it's
Murango held her up. He looked at her like a sister. He supported that lady, and today Gasheri is a household name in Kenya.
Are we saying that Gasheri is our new Iron Lady?
I hope she turns out to be an Iron Lady. I also hope that she can learn from the mistakes that her predecessors and her mentors have made, because if we do not, if our current leadership does not rectify that, we shall have another debate in the next 15 years in talking of how Gasheri and how Madenge and how Joshua disappeared into oblivion, and now they will be having people very well outspoken, eloquent young people like my sister here defending them, and they cannot be defended. That is my advice. Yes.
Sasa tumemaliza. So
mic drop.
I want us to do as we have established that we now have DCP and UDA. Recently, in the recent past, we've had UDA campaign, we had the grassroots elections, we've had empowerment programs, central, we had the secretary to the cabinet, Madam Wanjao Foundation was in for a whole, I think it was 3 days. Most of us might not even know that. Like the president was in Sagana, I think a month ago, and no one knew.
She was in
no one knew.
Interesting.
We have such scenarios, and then right before the grassroots elections, we had these rumors that we might get TK, Karaoke, Honorable Karaoke as CS or PS appointment, and then we might, right after the North by elections, there was a very huge rumor that we might have the president trying the same scenario for Mudende in Kenya.
Just the water.
To end the works. What do you think would have happened if we had a by-election in Kirinyaga? Let's say that year. What would happen? What would be the possible scenario?
The possible scenario would the government would lose.
Why?
The government would lose terribly.
Why are you that confident?
I mean, I know.
With all the government resources.
Even the government knows Kirinyaga politics. Kirinyaga politics is something not to joke about.
Why are you that confident, considering that we had people on Vifaru, you see the whole government, the machinery was in the north. What would happen if they did that in Kirinyaga?
You know, for instance, let us go to the scenario of Mbere North. You know the president, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, is a smart politician. Well, you can't deny the fact that he's a smart politician.
He's not very smart.
He's a smart. Let me just.
He's ruthless.
Any buffoon can be smart with money, but continue. Ruto is smart, and Ruto knows how to control his emotion a lot, and he knows that politics is rock. For you to win any seat, you have to interact with the Wanjiko, the ordinary Wanjiko. That's a fact. Ruto knows. No, any politicians know Ruto is very smart. So in Mbere North, it was a ride or die. He could use any other means, money, threats, intimidation in that seat. Why? If he lost in Mbere North, technically, venye kunasemekana UD imekufa Mount Kenya, ingekuwa mazishi.
So what would happen in Kirinyaga?
In Kirinyaga,
let's come there.
I would say he would not win in Kirinyaga. Kirinyaga is a very different case. Kirinyaga is a special zone, by the way.
Joshua Kwenundia, angesema kaende. Unaona kama tuanze hapo. Do you think the president would actually declare a by-election in Kirinyaga just anywhere? Even the
No, he cannot. Ruto cannot declare any by-election in the Kikuyu Mount Kenya, if I may call it that. Number one, we do not have clans in Dia like they had in Bere. There are only 2 clans in Dia. We have the Wanjiko clan and the UDA government, which people don't like. Okay, that is one. Number 2, unlike our brothers in Bere, our sisters and brothers in Dia know how to eat and disappear.
Yes.
They don't owe you anything. They know that this is our money.
They didn't borrow your money.
They didn't borrow your money. And they know that if they have to miss their events to attend your forums and your campaigns, then they're only getting paid for the day. And let me correct a notion that my brother has said. That, and I'm very happy because I know the government is living in delusion that since they quote and quote won in Bere, and if that happened, if they happen to have lost in Bere, then that will have been disastrous for them. I think if they are being honest with themselves, they should know that everything is just disastrous. Today, we witnessed the United Opposition was touring Meru. Meru has been a war zone today. If the government was really convinced that their victory in Bere was a sign that the party was still popular in Mount Kenya, they wouldn't be stopping the United Opposition from holding their peaceful rallies in Mount Kenya East. The government knows very well that they lost the mountain. The UDA is dead. In fact, campaigning on a UDA ticket in 2027 will be like walking around with a cemetery signpost.
Yes.
If Ruto made a mistake of orchestrating or trying to bring to hold a by-election in Ndia, we wouldn't even bother to know who we are voting for, because it is very clear that we are voting against the government. Of course, not because we hate it. People love the UDA. My sister said that UDA gave people hope. In fact, it was at the point, it was one of the highest points that this country has had the highest levels of hope. People are disappointed. Things are not working. The economy is not running, except for Ruto and his cronies. It's working for them. And so I don't see any reason that will have made the people of India elect a UDA candidate and not a candidate fronted by the people, and in this case, the DCP party. And so we actually, I would encourage the president still to entertain the same thoughts and consider it so that we can address this matter.
Wakili, what do you think?
I'm of the same opinion. Because one thing about the people of Kirinyaga, what I think probably worked in Bere North and such areas where UDA seemed to prevail is because they used voter bribery and voter inducement. We're talking about a place where they don't even have tarmac. We're talking about a place where even food is a problem, because I was personally an agent at that other polling station and I experienced firsthand a situation where especially the senior citizens, the boda guys, in the morning they were given a certain amount of money and their work was one: ferry the voters to the polling station, make sure that you have convinced them to vote for a particular client, and then at the end of that voting process, you know, when you're an assisted voter, then the person that is assisting you gets to hear the candidate that you voted for, and that was your ticket for the money that you're supposed to be given. In the morning they were given food. The same dynamics will work in Kirinyaga.
Why?
Kirinyaga people are empowered economically, hatuko njaa. So ndo ikuwe nimeuza kura yangu juu ya unga, it's actually highly unlikely. Probably 1 out of 10 people.
But tutakula.
Kukula na tutakula. Tunasemanga it won't die with milk, direct translation. So, if I eat your money, it's out of entitlement and it's out of a culture that we've created, but it's not a guarantee that I'm going to vote for you. Sisi ndo tunajua the essence of secret ballot. But uko nje kwenye wako economically empowered, it becomes a problem.
What do you think?
Well, about a by-election within Kirinyaga, I am not going to speculate I'm going to put it to you that they cannot, because they did not. The idea had not emanated from us, the opposition. Ilikuwa idea yao. Wow, whatever you want me to maybe say, they came on ground, analyzed, and realized that it is not doable. And if they dare, they would have realized that it is not always we that wins. And I'm going to say this about the Bere North in a simple quote. It is always wisdom to lose a battle to win a war. In Bere North, we only lost a battle just to win a war. Tafakari hayo.
And then wacha niseme aje. Umeona ukiangalia instance ya Bere North, mbona the government didn't dare to bring election in India. The government ni consumer of low intelligence. Ukiangalia the margin 454 votes was the total margin of the difference between the winner and the second runners up. 454 votes. Through the money, intimidation and the rigging, they only managed to a very slight gap, 454 votes. So in my mindset, the 454 they were rigged, and you cannot rig twice.
Also, Martin, you told me you are an agent where?
Katada.
In India, I cannot import an agent. I can
Nice one.
You have to understand the government is
Oh my God.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Tubonge Kirinyaga. Thank you for watching. This is Saju Hotel in Kutus.